headlines. U.S. Treasury seeks $44 billion from FTX at the expense of aggrieved customers. After meme coins, Bitcoin now hosts the DEX Uniswap. Bitcoin, a volatile market that chases liquidity. U.S. Treasury seeks $44 billion from FTX at the expense of aggrieved customers. The IRS has filed 45 claims against FTX and its subsidiaries totaling $44 billion. These requests were categorized as admin priority, giving the IRS priority over other creditors, including FTX's aggrieved customers. The sums requested relate mainly to corporate taxes, income tax and Social Security contributions. U.S. Treasury meddles FTX. Here's an announcement that's likely to spill a lot of ink. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, the agency responsible for collecting income tax and certain taxes in the United States, has filed 45 claims against FTX and its subsidiaries for the staggering sum of $44 billion. The applications were all filed between April 27 and 28, and target various companies formerly under the Sam Bankman-Fried umbrella such as Blockfolio, North Wireless Dimension, West Realmshires Services, FTX Trading, FTX Marketplace and certain branches of FTX US, among others. Each company received a claim for compensation in the very variable amount. Alameda Research, formerly run by Sam Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, however, received the largest penalty, more than $37.8 billion alone. This sum was divided through two branches of the firm, Alameda Research LCC and Alameda Research Holdings Incorporated. This is an overview of FTX and its subsidiaries. Overall, the IRS's requests concern the vast majority of amounts relating to corporate taxes, then income taxes and certain social charges. Government before customers? However, a small detail on the applications is of major importance: they were filed under the admin priority classification. This means that IRS requests, since they are administrative in nature, have full priority over other creditors, i.e. the exchange's aggrieved customers who have lost money as a result of its bankruptcy. The methodology used here by the IRS raises questions, however, as some professionals in the sector have questioned the amounts requested by the federal agency. Moreover, as pointed out by some observers on Twitter, FTX's restructuring team would naturally have to defend itself against the IRS's claims. In addition, the amounts requested by the IRS from bankrupt or troubled companies are very often revised downwards, as was the case for Lehman Brothers, which was initially asked for $1.2 billion, only to see this amount reduced to only $370 million. Regardless, the amount of money requested here by the IRS seems disproportionate, and the current FTX team is already struggling to raise the $11 billion needed to reimburse customers. It remains to be seen what FTX's legal team will do to defend itself in this new case that seriously complicates the already heavy file of what was once the second largest exchange in the world behind Binance. After meme coins, Bitcoin now hosts the DEX Uniswap. This is the trend of the moment. Through the Ordinals protocol, the Bitcoin blockchain is invaded by new tokens, mainly meme coins. Recently, developers deployed Uniswap smart contract on Bitcoin to facilitate exchanges. Ordinals, BRC20, Bitcoin. If there is one undeniable thing, it is that the world of cryptocurrencies never ceases to surprise us. This week, following the trend of tokens on the Bitcoin blockchain, developers decided to deploy Uniswap's smart contract on the network to capitalize on the development of this ecosystem. Indeed, since the arrival of the Ordinals protocol, the tranquility of Bitcoin has been turned upside down. After having made possible the creation of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, it has recently allowed the creation of a new standard, the BRC20. This was followed by a new wave of tokens, mainly meme coins. The craze did not take long to take in. The BRC20 token market even weighed nearly $2 billion in early May, before falling back widely. Today, more than 12,000 tokens evolve on the Bitcoin blockchain. Nevertheless, it was very complicated to obtain them. Indeed, the majority of exchanges are made in OTC, over-the-counter, on specialized platforms or on social networks such as Discord. In other words, two people arrange to exchange the token at the price they want. Uniswap solves accessibility issues. Faced with this craze and the upside potential of BRC20 tokens and decentralized finance, DeFi, on Bitcoin, developers have therefore taken the bet to deploy a fork of Uniswap on Bitcoin. The idea is to facilitate exchanges for users. Dubbed the trustless market, the protocol recorded average daily volumes of $500,000. In addition, it has attracted more than 2,000 users and now allows liquidity providers to receive a 2% commission on all trades made on the network. So far, the ORDI token of the Ordinals marketplace are the most valuable BRC20. The market capitalization is $400 million and there are 8,300 unique token holders. ORDI would be the first BRC20 token deployed on Bitcoin. For now, it is a real bet as the BRC20 token market is in its infancy. Is this a passing fad whose flame is already out of breath, or are we at the beginning of a narrative that will animate the next bull run? That's a great question. Bitcoin, BTC, a volatile market that chases liquidity. As disinflation in the U.S. continues and the market fears a U.S. federal government shutdown by June 1, the price of Bitcoin continues to build a wave of retracement amid rising volatility. Good news, U.S. disinflation is expected to continue. Two fundamental topics are in the spotlight between now and the end of May. Moreover, they both have a strong impact on the trend of so-called risky assets on the stock market. The U.S. federal government's public debt ceiling. The trend in the inflation rate in the United States, the decline of which determines the expected pivot of the Fed next autumn. On the theme of disinflation, recent updates are fueling optimism about the normalization of the U.S. price regime with a new low this week in the Consumer Price Index and the Producer Price Index. The highly respected application of institutional finance, Truflation, describes the inflation rate as a new annual low. This is a very positive fundamental data for the cryptocurrency market. On the other hand, there are a risk of tension by the end of the month on the side of the budgetary policy of the U.S. federal state. The latter could be in a situation of technical defect from 1 June if an agreement is not reached between Republicans and Democrats to raise the public debt ceiling. If the U.S. federal government were to shut down, due to lack of funding, it would produce strong downward pressure on the U.S. stock market and correlation on the price of cryptos. Even if such a scenario were temporary, we should then expect a high volatility of the price of Bitcoin. Check this chart from the Truflation app that shows a fair and up-to-date representation of the U.S. inflation rate. The price of Bitcoin still bullish, for now. Regarding the volatility of the price of Bitcoin, observers have noticed that in recent weeks, the market has become accustomed to chasing stop protection orders in search of liquidity to enter the market. This phenomenon is largely due to increasing illiquidity on crypto exchanges. This results from three reasons. The withdrawal of crypto market makers since the crypto business of the year 2022. The increase in the cold storage rate for Bitcoin held. Stop hunting is a well-known method of strong hands to enter the market well by attacking the stop packs of individual traders. The best way to guard against such a situation that can cause trading losses is to enter the market in a millimeter manner in accordance with the major chart thresholds and to reduce its nominal exposure to be able to position a wider stop. The volatility currently described by Bitcoin lies between support at $27,000 and resistance at $29,000. It is short-term volatility. Regarding the underlying trend, the graphical threshold guaranteeing the recovery has not moved. It is still at $25,000. The market must defend this threshold to consider a new attempt to break through the resistance at $32,000. This is a chart made with the TradingView site and which exposes the price of the Bitcoin futures contract in daily Japanese candles. These were the most important crypto news. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to be informed in time about the developments within the crypto industry and much more. We are considering making our channel accessible only for premium users, but if you subscribe to our channel now you will forever stay a free member. Okay, stay tuned and see you tomorrow.